years ago this weekend, actually, well, on May 7th of 2007, I found a lump that turned out to be cancer, and that started a really difficult period of time in our lives. A little history about me: I was raised in church, but actually considered myself to be agnostic for about 15 years. Met and married
me and married me then.
Roger during that period of time, and Roger really didn't have any faith history at all.
I didn't attend church much as a kid. Catholic church occasionally with friends. My family was not churchgoers. My first real exposure to Christianity, I would say, was with Karen and her family.
So we had been married about
13 years.
13 years. Sometime after we were married, a few years after we were married, we started going to church again, and I wanted our kids to have the experience that I had growing up in church. We moved out to Nevada in 2000, and then I was diagnosed 7 years later. During that 7 years, I took a couple spiritual gifts assessment tests, and I was really struggling with the idea that I didn't have a lot of faith. So I was praying for the gift of faith, or praying that my faith would grow. And so then I was diagnosed with cancer, and it put all of that to the test. That was definitely the period of time when I had to wrestle the most with uncertainty about the future. Our kids were little, so I was very afraid that if I died, what would happen to them, and how would they grow up. We spent a lot of sleepless nights, both of us separately and together, I think.
Really scary, terrifying, actually. And,
right.
Praying together, that's really, I think, when I relied on God, for the first time in my life. But I remember Karen and I talking about this, praying about this. I would pray about it on my own a fair amount. That's probably the most I've ever prayed. And I feel like my relationship with Karen and my relationship with Jesus both grew immensely through that whole process.
For me, the same. I feel like it made me really question, do I believe in God no matter what? Do I believe that God is sovereign and that His will is being done even in difficult circumstances and even when things aren't going the way that I want them to? And it made me question. I still do research even today about who is God really. I want to understand His nature, and I believe that everything that He does is in line with who He is. And so if I believe that He is sovereign and just and loving and faithful, then He is all of those things even when life is hard, and even when we're struggling, and even when it's uncertain and we don't know what the outcome's going to be.
I remember having a lot of anger as well, and just asking for peace in my heart, to be able to deal with things better. A lot of anger about it, and when I would pray, it would, lo and behold, I'd feel better, and it just continued to be that way. And sometimes I'd forget and try to handle things on my own, and ultimately I'd remember, well, you need to let God back in and say some words to Him and let Him kind of guide and direct you. And when I did that, it was a lot better. So
Yeah.
10
10 years.
10 years now.